All right, welcome my children. So today's little video lesson is going to be how to do a puzzle box. So as you can see here within this small level, the player can't get any further because there's a blockade here. It's a little colored gate. So they're going to have to go through this door over here. And you can see here there's a switch that changes the gate sizes here. Allows you to enter and exit. But the player is still locked off here. So the only way for them to go through is to come over here, come to the alternate path. They see that there's another gate blocking their path, and then they'll have to shoot this switch, and then they are free to leave the level. So that's pretty much how this is going to be set up. It's just going to be how you can have a puzzle persist throughout the entirety of a dungeon or level or whatever. Okay, so I'm not going to explain how I got this level set up. That was in a previous video. Instead, I'm just going to show you how the switch and the gates work. So first things first, we have the switch, which is an animated sprite 2D. I have it set to a group called switches, as you can see there, and then I have a script attached to it. Aside from that, I have a hitbox, which is just an area, 2D, with the collision shape, and then I have a static body collision right here. Come on, hover over it, there you go, static body 2D, as you can see here, and this is just to keep the player from walking through it. Then over here, we have the gate. So the gate, pretty much the exact same thing. It's got a sprite, animated sprite, 2D. The animations are when it's up and down, so when it's up, it blocks the player. When it's down, the player can walk over. And then it has a collision shape here, which blocks the player from moving further. Okay, it too has its own little group called colored gates, and then it also has a script. So, let's go back and start off with the script itself. We'll start off with the global script. In order to do a global script, you go into your product settings, you go to your globals over here within the menu. You just select your file from wherever your object is, you open it up, and then it should appear here. Just make sure that it's enabled here. After that, you'll have a script that can be accessed throughout the entirety of the level, and it keeps data persistent through changings of scenes and stuff like that. So it's good for things like inventory or health system if the player, is constantly entering and exiting buildings and homes and stuff like that, or different scenes. So as you can see here, very simple, straightforward script here. We have an enum with switches, or switch states, excuse me, and I have the colors of red and blue. All the enum here is actually numbers being set into like its own little list. So red is actually 0 and blue is actually 1. It's just easier for the computer to read numbers than it is strings. That's why I have it like that. Then after that, we have a current dungeon state, and then that is going to be a dictionary, and then this dictionary is going to have pairs. So here we have level 1 and level 2, and then we have the switch states of red and the switch states of blue. So all this is actually doing is it's just tagging the switches to the level that they're currently in. That way, if you hit a switch in level 1, it doesn't affect anything in level 2, and vice versa. So let's say you were in level 2 and you hit a switch, the switches in level 1 aren't affected. And that will apply to all of your levels. So, switch 1 can't affect level 4, 5, 6, or 7, and vice versa. So that's why I have it like that. Then after that, we have, I guess we can go to the switch here. So here we have the animated switch, animated sprite 2D. I have an export variable for the current dungeon. So that right there, as you can see right here, current dungeon, just tells which dungeon the level is currently, or which level the switch belongs to. And then doing that allows me to just hover over there, and you can see here, if I can spell, it just allows the information to appear right here when you hover over. But that's what this is for. I have a string, so I say in level 1, this is what this switch belongs to. Then after that, I'm just going to open this up more. We have the ready function. If dungeon current dungeon state is equal to the current dungeon. So what this is saying here is grabbing that global script right here. It doesn't, whatever. It's grabbing this script right here, and then it's going to this current dungeon state. So it's going to the dictionary, and it's finding the pair. So since this current dungeon is a string, what this is actually saying right now to the switch, it says level 1. And then all it's saying is set that dungeon level switch to red. Then after that, it's not red. It's checking to see if it is red. And if it is red, we're going to set it to on. And if it's not red, we're going to set it to off. Then after that, I have a, what's this? We have the toggle state here. The toggle state here, it's just a match statement. So whenever the switch is hit, it's going to look at what the current state is, and then whatever state it is just going to do the opposite of. So if it's the current state is 0, then it's going to change the switch to blue, essentially turning it off. And then if the switch is 1, meaning that the switch is red, then in that case make it. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused here. If the current switch is blue, then change it to red, and then the switches aren't. So that's what this is doing. It's just a toggle for on and off. Then after that, I have a get all switches. So when the switch is hit, it needs to grab all the switches and all the gates that are within the current scene. That way it can update them. So if you remember, I put them in their own groups. The switches have the group of switches, and then the colored gates are in a group called colored gates. This just allows me to get access to them. So as you can see here, I got get tree, get nodes in the group of switches, and then here update gate group, get the tree, get nodes in group of colored gates. So when this when this function is called, it's just going to gather those two within those groups, and then we can use them. So here for change switches and update switch group, again. So as you can see here, we're just doing a for loop. We're going through all the switches that are within the group in the current scene, and then we're saying whatever that switch is, grab this function, as you can see it's down here, and fire that off. And then the same thing goes for the gates. So for all the gates within that group, look for that particular gate, and then have it change its current state. So here, since it's already down here, whatever that switch is, it's going to call this function here whenever the switch is hit. And then we're going to go to dungeon. It's going to find out which dungeon it belongs to, and then it's just going to change it to red, and then set it to on. And if it's not, then it's going to set it to off. That's all that's doing. And then here is the hitbox. I don't think I explained that, but the hitbox does have a signal on it. Excuse me. So whenever there's an area that enters this hitbox, it's going to check it and see if the area is in group attack. Then it's going to use the toggle switch, or call the toggle switch. As you can see here, it's looking for the current state of that of the dungeon, and then after that, it's going to get all the switches. As you can see here, I probably should say all switches and gates, honestly. So let's do that. And then, whoops, I'm just going to Control C. There we go. That way, if you read it like 10 months from now, you'll know exactly what that thing is doing. Okay, and then next up is the colored gates. So, as you can see here, it's these. So as you can see here, we have an enum of switch type. We have the red and blue. After that, we have an export variable of set switch type, switch to red, but it doesn't have to be red because it's an export variable. If we go over here, you can see here we have a set switch. And the reason why I have it as the switch type of this enum is just so I can get a drop-down menu. So now it just has red and blue. I don't have to type in what it is. And then at that, obviously, current dungeon is the exact same thing. It's just what level it belongs to. That has to be a string. And then I have it grabbing its sprite node, and I have it grabbing the gate collision. The reason why I have it grabbing these is the color is because I didn't want to grab another sprite, so I just colored it using a modulate. And then the get collision for the gate is that way I can disable it when the switch is either on or off. So that way I can toggle the collision on or off. Here we have the current color. This is for comparison. Later, as you can see down here, switch color. That way we can see if we need to modulate that switch or not during the ready. And then after that, we have the ready, which is switch color or set switch color. During the initial startup, it's going to find out what color you set that switch to and which gates are going to be affected by it. So here we have if set switch is equal to red, that sprite will be modulated to the color red, and if not, it's just going to take its default color, which is blue. Okay, so next after that, we have change current state. Here, it's just going to check the color to see if it matches the current state of the dungeon. So here, it's going to look and see if it's either switch states.red or switch states.blue. And if it matches, then it's going to either turn the collision on or off. So here we have a wait get tree.process frame. That's just to make sure the last frame is completed before it starts updating things. Then it's going to get the collision or the gate collision, and then say disabled is equal to true. So that is going to disable the collision shape, so the player can now walk through, and then it's going to change the animation. So the sprite here is going to go play down, which is this animation right here. So if we go right here, it's just going to swap between these, whether it's down, which is that one, or up. That way there's a visual language to the player that they know they can actually pass through. And then finally, if it doesn't match, then it's obviously a blockade. So we're going to have to wait, get tree.process frame. Again, make sure the frame is processed. Then it's going to say that the the collision shape is not disabled, meaning there is a blockade here. And then it's going to convey that through visual language by making the animation play up. And that's pretty much it. I don't think I actually use those. Yeah, I think those are just placeholders. My bad. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else actually to say. Like I said, if you want to learn how to do the level design with the portals and stuff I have, that's the previous video. But yeah, so you can actually use this to make your own little puzzle boxes where where a switch affects the entire level itself. So you can make this thing do whatever you want. I just made it super easy where it was just changing some particular object within the setting itself. But you can make it like rotate a room or change the room entirely if you want. It's up to you. But yeah, this was like super simple, very straightforward. Again, I promised this like 10 months ago, and I finally got to it. So there you go. Promises made, promises kept. All right, hopefully you learned something, my children, and until next time, farewell.